Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another wrestling review. On Friday, we looked at Neville versus Austin Aries for the Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania 33 on the pre-show, unfortunately, even though it really felt like it should have been on the main show. Even though this one was also on the main show, not on the main show, this one was also on the pre-show. A year later, or different competitors this time around, and a different landscape when it comes to the Cruiserweight Championship division. So, what happens when the heart takes on the soul of 205 Live? I'm, of course, talking about Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali for the vacant Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania 34. Now, as always, I'm not professional wrestling reviewer or analyst or anything like that. Just a man who enjoys a good time, and I had a really good time watching this match. This match was a lot of fun. And similar to the match last year, a lot of people felt that this should have been on the main card. Granted, this WrestleMania, and I forgot to mention about this WrestleMania, but even the previous year, uh, both WrestleManias incredibly long. They went for several hours. But so it's not like you needed more room on the show before like the show is already pretty stacked enough, but a lot of people did feel that this match should have been on the main card. Excuse me. But what would our guys do even if they're on the pre-show slot? Let's find out. Now, of course, as always, if you've seen these ooh, man, I cannot talk today. If you've seen these reviews of mine before, you kind of already know this works. If you haven't, I'm going to be talking about what I liked and disliked about the match. As for how we got here, it's a bit of a interesting story, a bit of a sad story as well. As I alluded to in the previous my previous review of Neville vs. Austin Aries, eventually Neville dropped the Cruiserweight Championship to Enzo Amore, and so Enzo Amore was the Cruiserweight Champion, and and Neville, ultimately he didn't get it back. This would be one of the factors that kind of eventually he compelled him to ask for his release, and eventually he was granted his release. He's now, on one hand, I get it. Like, hey, the philosophy was Enzo being there without over he was. By this point, Enzo and Big Cass had split up. Why? Hey, but they had split up. Big Cass was actually out from injury stemming from the street fight he had with Enzo. I believe either the night after or maybe like the week after SummerSlam, if I'm not mistaken. But Big Cass was out, and so they needed something to do with Enzo. And considering how popular Enzo was, they figured why not put him in the cruiserweight division and get some more eyes on the cruiserweight division. And it somewhat worked. I mean, there was a couple times where like the cruiserweight division and the cruiserweight segments and some ended up main eventing Raw, so that was something. Enzo, who was there to really bolster the division, he beat Neville for the title at No Mercy. He performed kind of a double turn where Enzo turned heel and then Neville turned face, but Enzo held on to the Cruiserweight Championship, lost it temporarily. Believe it was at, I want to say, a, I forget exactly when. I want to say it was after Survivor Series, is where he lost it to Kalisto. But Enzo would get it back. However, her Enzo would let me see here. TLC. No, so he got it back on. Oh, okay, yes, I remember now. So Enzo lost the Cruiserweight Championship to Kalisto on the October 9th episode of Raw, which a lot of people theorized was kind of a way to stick it to Neville because that was supposed to be Enzo versus Neville with Enzo retaining, but instead Enzo lost the Cruiserweight Championship to Kalisto in the Lumberjack match, and then got it back from him at TLC. So Enzo was Cruiserweight Champion, and he was supposed to face Cedric Alexander here at the 2018 Royal Rumble. However, Before or that, some allegations came out of how about Enzo sexually assaulting someone on at first it was a suspension and then it turned into a full-on firing, I believe, within the same day if I'm not mistaken, and like hey only an hour or so apart from each other. So Enzo was out at WWE. He apparently he the reason it went to a straight up firing is because Enzo didn't tell WWE that he was under investigation for this, even though Enzo himself says that he didn't find out until the Phoenix Police Department made it public. Where the truth lies, I'm not entirely sure. But the bottom line is Enzo was out, so the Cruiserweight Championship was held vacant, and so they held a tournament. And it's ironically enough, it's ironic that they held another tournament for the title when it was technically the Cruiserweight Classic tournament that got us here with the title and everything in the first place. But there was a tournament to declare a brand new cruiserweight champion, and oh, here here essentially at WrestleMania 34 is the finals of the tournament. So either Cedric Alexander or Mustafa Ali would become the cruiserweight champion, and I guess around this time, Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali have been dubbed the or I should say, let me flip it. So Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander have been dubbed the heart and soul of. Sorry, I accidentally hit my mic. The heart and soul of 205 Live, respectively. Which it's yeah, fair enough. But yeah. So that's how we got to this match. Kind of a weird winding road. But as for this match, starting with what I liked, just a lot of fun on that's a lot of fun back and forth, a lot of fun action. A lot of the stuff that was fun about Neville versus Austin Aries carries over to this match. Possibly even a bit more, where both guys very athletic, very much high flyers, and having a somewhat similar style. Cedric Alexander also, with some technical prowess of his own. And seeing it translate into this match was really cool to see. They and you see them like they have it's kind of a friendly rivalry kind of thing going on when it comes to this match, which is worth mentioning. The YouTube clip I found of this is on in full on YouTube. This one, unlike the previous one, does have the English commentary, but it's not like they add much. So, but no offense, obviously, to both Vic Joseph and I believe Nigel McGuinness is on commentary as well. Oh, but nevertheless, so Cedric and Mustafa Ali going back and forth with each other, just absolutely nailing each other. A lot of moments that look pretty stiff and pretty scary. Yeah, towards the end of the match, Cedric nails it was like three back elbows on to Mustafa Ali. He and then nails a vicious lumbar check, and a great story as well within the match. Cedric very hesitant to do the repeated elbows and then the lumbar, or because he doesn't want to hurt his friend Mustafa Ali, and right after he kind of hugs him and they celebrate obviously as Cedric Alexander becomes cruiserweight champion, and the arc of Cedric Alexander in the cruiserweight division, him not even really supposed to be he there in the first place, is replacing someone else and then having to work down to the weight of 205. I've to make the tournament and everything to now being the cruiserweight champion, and it was really cool to see. And someone else who was impressed with the match was John Cena. Yes, this was around that time where John Cena had his kind of one-sided feud with The Undertaker, where he would repeatedly call out The Undertaker for a match at WrestleMania. Undertaker didn't respond, and so John Cena um, was still in the crowd, still in attendance, and I forget which move it was, because and then they pan to John Cena, and you see him looking super impressed and everything. But oh yeah, so Cena was also impressed with what he saw, and as were a lot of the people, very impressed by what they saw. And it's crazy because these two did not get as much time as Neville and Austin Aries got. Neville and Austin Aries got about 15 minutes. These two got about 12 minutes, but they still managed to make it work, even in their more concise, more limited time. And they made a very, very fun, entertaining. Excuse me. very fun and entertaining match between the two. Who, in fact, I highly recommend checking this out, as well as Neville and Austin Aries, but especially this match. Just a lot of just fun and awesome back and forth between the two. In terms of what, if I had to find something to nitpick about this match, the fact that they kept trying to refer to each other as Heart and Soul, like, let me see that heart, let me see that soul. Well, it did look kind of weird, and they really put it over. They really tried their best, like, put it over in a big way, almost bordering on the point of ad nauseum, but I feel like it didn't take away too much from the action. Just kind of something I noted. But yeah, fantastic match. Highly recommend checking it out. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and turn on those post notifications so you know every single time I upload a video so you never miss an upload. And let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on this match. If you haven't seen this match, I highly recommend it. Your thoughts on this match and my review of the match. Do you like the match? Do you like my review of the match? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.